Well, school is back in session in just a few short weeks, and it's a great time to get a new health goal set for the whole family. Dr. Michelle Robin is here to show us some of those healthy choices that you can actually do every single day. So I think the first question a lot of parents would have, what can I do to make my child's health better?
There's so many things, but I would say the message today is rhythm builds resilience, whether it's for mental health, physical health, chemical health, or energetical health.
Okay, and then touching on one of those, physical health, what can we do there?
You know, I think a couple ideas. One is create a family activity, whether it's a walk outside, or maybe you get up and you stretch every morning together, or you do some spinal hygiene. You know, get with your doctors. You know, we take them to the dentist, maybe to their chiropractor for spinal hygiene, and their medical doctor. Because once you have a relationship with healthcare professionals, it gives kids a chance to build a relationship with trusted resources.
Okay, that's so important because sometimes, you know, you might jump around a little bit and you don't have the same healthcare professional year after year.
And so it's hard to build relationships.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've been together here several times. Now we walk in, we have a relationship, we have a framework, and kids need the same thing.
Absolutely. Okay, and let's talk about how you can actually prepare your child for a successful school year, because that also right on the forefront.
Once again, rhythm builds routine, builds resilience. So a good breakfast, good fats, vitamin D, make sure they're getting plenty of sleep. That's really important. And just like we need a sleep routine, there's a saying that for every minute you're in bed before midnight, it's like 2 minutes. I don't know about you.
Wow.
If I go to bed at 9:30, I wake up at 2 ready to go, versus if I go to bed at 10:30, even though I may have the same amount of hours in bed, the time and the quality is different before midnight.
Well, it kind of does count differently because when you're in that natural rhythm, it really helps.
Well, the first 3 or 4 hours of sleep, your body physically regenerates. And then the second half of your sleep cycle, it actually spiritually regenerates.
Wow.
And so if you're not getting enough sleep, you may feel better physically, but your mind does not feel better. And we all know that we're in a healthcare crisis right now because of mental well-being.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and are some of these things that we could actually like check off on a list? I know that you've compiled some things that would be so important for children and maybe families alike.
Well, I think sometimes we just forget. So, you know, we brush our teeth, we drink our water, we do our spinal hygiene, we say thank you, we help our parents in the kitchen.
I love to say thank you.
We say thank you.
That is so huge.
What if we taught our children to write a thank you note, actually write it out, 1 a week or 2 a week or 1 a day? That would really transform their life.
Okay, well, thank you so much for putting together that whole list. We'd also like to talk about children's mental health because this is such a critical issue right now.
It is critical. You know, they need to be heard. Kids are going to be nervous going to school, especially if they're making the transition from maybe elementary school to middle school or middle school to high school.
I remember going to middle school to high school and you're kind of like out there looking around, are my friends going to act the same? And now we've got all these upperclassmen to deal with. It can be a really challenging time.
So maybe if you know some kids are going to be in their class, set a play date before so that they have a friend before they go.
Oh,
you know, that would be a great idea.
idea.
Encourage them to maybe write down what the successful year looks like so that they can, and then you can check into that. Well, it looks successful when I'm able to feel like I'm learning or I build relationships with kids, etc.
Okay, well that's so huge because it's one of those things that if you put it out there and actually write it down, it has a greater success rate.
Without a doubt. And it helps build compassion.
Okay, then let's talk about being proactive in your child's health journey. You know, what's the benefit to that?
Wow, just proactive in general across the planet is if you are more positive, you're going to attract positivity versus more negative, you're going to attract negativity. So once again, proactive, get play dates and set. Also talk about the rhythm and routine you want to have throughout the year, not only for your kids but for you. Put technology down. Have a rule maybe in the car on the drive that they're not even playing with technology, they're actually talking to you. Some of the best places to find out what's happening is on the drive when you're taking your kids place. Don't miss those moments.
Awesome. And you can also have compassion for yourself, which is huge.
Build compassion for yourself. You know, I'm getting better and better all the time. People say, "How are you doing?" You know, I'm better than last year, but not as good as next year.
Oh, perfect. Always on the upswing.
Always on the upswing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Michelle.
You're welcome,
We really
Belinda.
appreciate it.